Did you hear that? The governor said we need to pay the teachers more. We got to find the money to pay the teachers more. Where could we find the money? Billions of dollars extra a year from offshore drilling. You don't want to do oil? Let's do natural gas. No drilling. Can't debate that, but we wouldn't even be able to see the platforms. No one would know they were there. And natural gas, I mean, it doesn't spill like oil. It's gas. Nope, not talking about it. We're not speaking of it. But I mean, what if we could find a way to make sure that it didn't conflict with tourism anyway? Nope. Well, I mean, surely we could at least call the chambers down to, Gulf of Florida, Gulf of Texas, all that, all there. They got all kinds of tourism and drilling. Nope. Can't talk to them. Off the table. We don't want no stinking money. We don't want a recession-proof economy. We just got to figure out how to pay teachers more. Morons. As Lee often says, I do not understand for the life of me. There are 1 billion cars on this planet. Do you know that? I looked that up to see how many cars there were. I was curious. It's just shy, actually, of 1 billion cars on this planet. We move the fuel that powers them across the globe every day. How often do you hear about an oil spill? Well, there was that Horizon one. Yeah, like 10 years ago? But yet they won't consider there's no concern whatsoever about nuclear power. Listen, you have an oil spill, the area is clean in 10 years. Easy, probably more like 5. You have a nuclear meltdown? Try 100 years. Plus, unusable. And they don't care. But they will not discuss discovery off the coast. Now their latest one, you heard this one? Well, we would need refineries. We would need facilities for the natural gas. Yeah, so what? There's plenty of places we could put it. You wouldn't even see it on the coast. We've got state land out there. Come on, there's no rule that says we have to build a refinery or some other kind of processing facility right up against the beach. These people are drama queens. It is just, it's ridiculous. It is, it's nuts. But you know what? They're going to successfully make sure that we continue to have a 2.5% growth rate, just like California. You know what is amazing is how closely this state tracks California in its growth rate. I pull it every quarter from the federal government. Usually we're around, GDP growth, we're around 2.4 to 2.7, and usually California is around 2.2 to 2.7. We track them almost exactly. I mean, they're practically a socialist state, which is amazing. I mean, you want to grow like Texas. And here's the amazing thing about Texas. I say this all the time. One of the shocking things to watch with Texas is they have the growth that they've had there with natural gas and oil. And tourism, by the way. Gulf of Texas is a wonderful vacation spot. Very popular. Beautiful beaches. They manage to somehow coexist with the drilling that they do, both oil and natural gas. But here's the thing about Texas. Remember the Great Recession? Yeah, that really sucked, didn't it? It was terrible to go through the Great Recession. Well, they didn't go through it in Texas. They didn't have it. They just opted out. Purely because of drilling. They opted out. They didn't have it there. Texas, during the Great Recession, 2/3 of the quarters during the Great Recession had a growth rate higher than 3%. They just, if you live in Texas, you just didn't have it. Drilling does that. The rest of the country can go have a recession. We'll read about it online to see what it's like because we're not having it. That's the difference drilling and fracking makes in a state. I mean, they were the only state that averaged any quarters at all of 4+% growth during the Great Recession. Can you imagine? This is economic growth I'm talking about. Texter writes, more growth, we can't manage the growth we have. Wait, what are you talking about? I'm talking about economic growth. No, we can't manage the growth we have. We'd rather have 1% growth and suffer and lose our jobs during the next Great Recession because we're going to have another one. That would be so much better. Golly, you can't talk to people about this. You just can't make it make sense to them. I mean, have you seen what's going on with businesses moving out of California and into Texas? Do you realize that in the last 20 years, over 10,000 businesses, I just read this a couple weeks ago in the Wall Street Journal, have moved from California to Texas? That's just the ones to Texas. And yet we want to be California. We want the California growth rate. It's awesome when you have no growth. It's totally cool. No, it actually sucks. And this is why we have one of the highest, the lowest workforce participation rates in the country. We're in the bottom 5. We desperately need jobs. Here's the latest one I've heard from these bozos. They're slinging this one around. Wow, see, most of the jobs would be people coming from out of state. You moron. When high-paid people come from out of state, 6 figures, what do they do with the money? Oh, they don't spend any of it. No, they keep it. No, they don't. They buy houses. They spend it. It creates jobs. You don't have to work in the mining industry in any way to watch the boom. Small businesses, contractors. You need repair services, building services. I mean, it just supercharges an area. They won't even consider it. Won't even consider it. Don't want to know anything about it. Texter writes, McMaster, what a joke. Sounds like a backwoods idiot and proves it with his position on oil exploration. Again, I'm not asking them to drill. I'm asking them to explore so that we can have an informed debate, because they don't want to have an informed debate. They want to sling fear tactics out there. Just sling them out there. I mean, I actually heard that from a Republican this week. Well, it'd be bad for the coast. Why? Well, these people moving in, they'd be from out of state. Yeah, they're moving in to create jobs, which we don't want. Well, no, because they're from out of state. Well, then they would be from in-state because they'd be here making creating jobs. And what happens? Let's show the reverse. You've seen it. What does it look like when manufacturing moves overseas in these small towns? Used to be mill towns. Come on, we've all driven through them on the way to the beach. Again, they look like Beirut after the bombing, right? So that's what happens when industry leaves. Reverse that. Reverse that. Well, we only want jobs from here. Well, then we should have told BMW to take a hike. Go hit the road. You're not from here. We don't want you. Think about that. Would anybody say that? Yeah, BMW's not from around here. We don't want that. They're going to bring people in from yeah, they have. Foreigners all over the place here. This place is booming. You lose one job, get another. Even if you don't work for BMW and don't know a thing about cars. This place is booming because of that. That is an idiotic argument. If that's the case, then we ought to make it. We could go ahead and be consistent. State leaders ought to be consistent. We need to develop the BMW exit plan. They need to go. I mean, look at Nikki. Come on, this is ridiculous. Look at Nikki Haley when she was governor. What did she do? All she did was brag about the foreign businesses she was bringing in here with foreign workers. Got to have foreign workers. I mean, the management's from another country. That's considered good unless it's oil. By the way, most of these oil companies and natural gas companies are American companies. I'm just talking out of both sides of them. I mean, literally one side, it's good. We got to keep these foreigners coming here. Got to BMW to be here, and we got to have them here. They're foreigners, but they're here working. It's good for the economy. Yet they're afraid of somebody moving from Arkansas to work on a drilling rig you can't even see from the 5th floor of a hotel. But move them here from Germany? Yeah, let's have that. Golly, I have never heard such uninformed idiocy. Listen, if we do the exploration and we find out it's going to be bad for the state, then let's debate that with facts. I don't want to hurt the state. I love the state. I don't want to go anywhere. But let's have facts. That's what Henry Master is saying when they say no exploration. We don't want no stinking facts, because then we'd have to have a debate about never having a recession again in this state. We want recessions. We love recessions.